My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no. I'd ask if that's me, 'cause I don't recognize myself anymore. No, sir. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rebel, stepping up to the plate, give them hell, feeling great, show and tell, devastate. I've taken my fair share of beatings and I've retreated and bleeded, but my kids were dying for to give her something to believe in. You're gonna trip, you're gonna fall, you're gonna land face down in the dirt. But when you're done, you'll no longer crawl. You'll be invincible from the hurt.
Hey everybody, this is episode number 4 of the Round Table Show. On this week's show, we are going to review the episode that Rob had recently with TripplRial, and today has actually turned out to be a rather interesting show because while the premiere of that show was airing, my co-host Angel Wings got into a conversation with the guest of Rob, TripplRial, and said that they wanted a reading, or that he wanted a reading. So our mystery guest, if you want to introduce yourself first. Extra.
What's up? I'm TripplRial. I eat psychedelics. That I do. I go to festivals. I'm very in tune with things, and I don't always have to be on psychedelics to be in tune. They just heighten it up. And I make music about different things as far as entities, aliens, reptilians, and trip stories. So.
Also joining us by phone is another well-known member of Rob's audience from the Typical Skeptic Podcast, almost always in the chat and wonderful to talk to, is Angel Laurie.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing today?
Thank you for joining us, Angel. This is going to be fun. And, of course, with me, as always, is Angel Wings.
Hello.
So,
I'm excited for this reading. Sorry.
Yeah. So all I can say about Ascension symptoms this week, and pardon my dog in the background, is yesterday I got the crap kicked out of me. And I have no idea why. I woke up feeling fine. And then about 10 o'clock, my stomach cramped up. My head felt like it was full of concrete. And it felt like somebody took a toilet brush down my throat is the only way I can explain it.
Oh, my God. That's rough.
Yeah. Oh, I was in bad shape. I almost didn't make it to Rob's show yesterday, and I would have been sad about that because it ended up that psychic duck reappeared. I mean, who hasn't been waiting for that? All right. With that said, why don't we move right along to Angel Wings, and you can do the reading for our special panelist.
Sorry, I have my dog with me.
We got a dog show going on. Mine will probably start howling in a minute.
See, that's why I love this show, because I don't give a shit. My dog's probably going to bark too, so let's just have it.
And there's the cat. And there's the cat on cue.
It's the all pets edition of the Round Table Show. Let's fucking.
We can all just be quiet and put them all up to the camera.
Yep. I got this guy right here.
All right, Angel Wings, take it away.
I'm okay. He's kind of buff for the energies. All right, let's see which one first. All right. I'm going to do a reading for Extra Trip. Any questions or any thoughts or anything you're concerned about or working on, or any questions that might pop in your head, or a basic?
The only concerns I got is my friggin' chest. I don't know if it's my heart condition or if it's... See, we don't have running water where we live. And I was stupid because it was so cold. And I didn't feel like emptying the toilet out and bringing it out to the septic tank and dumping it out. So I held my stuff for a couple days and I shouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rough.
that'll cause some issues.
I think I gave myself some toxic shit.
Yeah. Probably a good cleansing, a good clean out.
But now it's getting warmer, so I don't got to worry about it so much. We live in a mud hole. Like we live in a swamp inside of a fifth wheel camper.
Literally.
Oh, wow.
Is it weird that I'm jealous?
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I'm only in a single white anyway, but
But we go to festivals and we make art and we perform and do stuff at festivals all summer. So it's like we have a van. We were living in the van because we're really never not at a show somewhere. Because we go like 2 days before they open up to create our art. So if we have downtime, it's like for a day. And we're parking in front of my grandma's house sleeping.
no. I've often thought about the nomadic lifestyle. Like, it was almost a thing. If I hadn't gotten in the relationship I'm in now, it likely would have been the way.
Right. It's not bad. It has its ups and downs. But it's not as easy as people think, especially when you don't have running water.
Chris Farley didn't yell about that shit for no reason, bro.
Right.
Here goes them cards again.
He said,
You got 3 dragons working with you right now. Or 3 dragons for a big message. Oh, and that makes sense too. Download divine love. Connection to the heart. I'll talk about some of them as I draw.
I was supposed to have a loop recorder and put in my chest like over a year ago, and I told him no.
But it sounds like it's healing itself.
Yeah, I try to focus on it myself. Like I will put all my energies into it when it's doing that, and I can feel it fluttering, like trying to work itself out.
I totally believe that if you go deep enough into your own consciousness, you can shut just about everything off. And I don't mean to sound like, oh, this is medical advice because I want this shit to stay on YouTube. But I know myself, I have a bad tooth that's actually right there. I busted about half of it off probably 4 months ago, and it was killing me, and we did not have the funds for me to go to the dentist. So I went into this weird deep meditation and asked my body to shut the nerves off, and I could literally see inside of my mouth every little molecule doing what it was supposed to do, what I had just asked it, and I haven't had a problem with it since. Like, I literally think I shut the nerves off just with my own thoughts.
I don't believe in
That's
doctors
possible.
anymore. They've destroyed me.
I do not. I avoid that system at all cost.
Yeah, I had spinal surgery. They put me on opiates, and then they had me on high doses, and they didn't like wean me off. They just took me off. So then I started buying pills because I was sick. Then I was stupid and started buying heroin because it was cheaper. And then I landed myself in the rehab a year later.
Yeah, I dabbled with some pharmaceuticals in my days too. I actually just told a story on the interview on the Mad Chatter. I overdosed the night before I went to watch Ozzy with the bass player of Carbon Dallas. And that was on pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Just about got
so
everything. One more. There we go. And of course, I got to hunt that one down. Dang it.
And I don't mean to weird anybody out like that, because I'm just that kind of guy that I'll just dump my purse on the table and show everybody my shit, because I'm really not ashamed of anything I've done. It got me here.
I wouldn't be me if I didn't do all the stupid shit I've done.
Yeah.
We all aren't perfect. We all have
I used to believe in absolutely nothing till my first overdose, actually. And
Everything
I was
happens
a
for a
little
reason.
kid. I was a little kid my first overdose. I ate fucking 12 caffeine pills and 12 Darvocets in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't good. I was 16 or 15. I'm 40 now.
I was the night that I got, well, the night before Ozzy, we'll say, I was playing with Kitty Coke, also known as Adderall.
Yep.
Yeah. That did not end well for me. Well, it almost ended completely for me, but it did not end well.
Not in a good way.
If I check the right deck and the right book and the right one, I guess I could just read them all. Okay, we have take your next step. Hold on. I gotta read the other one first. That makes more sense. Saying download divine love makes that one. Your being as your very being is similar to the technology of the computer, and that you have the ability to access knowledge, to run programs, to access and translate infinite fields of information into tangible, readable, playable media, and now the technology of your being is in the process of upgrading. Within you, you're able to access the infinite fields of light, information, wisdom, healing, and frequency, yet you have no need to connect to the internet or anything external through your very being, you have a permanent link to the expansive, unending field of all that is. All you must do to connect, so you can browse through the fields of infinite possibilities and download healing programs or activations, is entered in through the space of your heart. Quiet your mind, open your heart, become aligned with the energy of love, and with your intention become crystal clear. Think of a quality of the divine you wish to embody now. Focus on that quality represented in the world, and then think or say, download now with your intention. This quality downloads into your being because of your direct connection to the divine. You can download healing, love, clarity, joy, serenity, and illumination. These qualities are always accessible, but in downloading them, it's this way now. They become known, prominent, and highlighted as a main facet of your experience. Ooh, that's fascinating. It sounds exactly like what you're doing already.
Right. That's why my dog's name is Europlatus. We named him Europlatus after that trip with the mushrooms that brought me to where I got probed in Rob's story there. That's why we named That's what we named my puppy after.
Wow. Oh, and I bet you frequency music would be a godsend for you as well. That would you would resonate a lot with frequency music like I do.
Yeah, we listen to it here and there. I was actually talking. I'm newer at making beats, and there's some people I know that have been doing it longer, and they know more what they're doing. And I would talk to them about making a binaural type beat, but have me rap to it with a healing, all about healing. I think it'd be pretty cool because not a lot of people do that. It's hard to rap to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's awesome.
That's something that I was talking to a couple of my beat makers about. So, you know, what's going to happen is I mentioned it to like 3 of them. I'll end up getting 4 or 5 emails in a row. I got a beat for you. I got a beat. That's how it goes.
All right. Now, take your next step. Your contribution is needed to bring oneness and divine love to the forefront of consciousness for all humanity. You play an important role in opening a great flow of ascension energy, which will carry you, your earth, and all of humanity further into alignment with divine all will and with your highest possible potential. The best, the lightest, the most powerful and vibrant, the most joyful, loving expressions of your higher self and spirit manifest through you in the physical is yet to be. Open your heart, become aware of your next step to align with more love and light, to become into closer alignment with your authentic truth. Then take the step, and the next will appear. One step at a time, one moment at a time. Keep going, shining brighter. Live vibrantly, stay positive. You're making a difference. You're supported by your team of guides, angels, and ascended masters with energy, love, and with guidance and reassurance, with synchronicities of the signs to carry you forward. Ask for help, act, trust in the process, and continue, for you are doing well. One step at a time, anything is possible. That's cool. And we got your 3 dragons working with you at the moment, or 3 that are lingering around that you can ask for assistance
Remember?
with.
Remember last year? Here we go. Last year at the G Lodge, the very last festival. The very last festival. I haven't talked about this story to many people. I'm sorry about the drug part, but a dude gave me a bag of line of ketamine. I'm talking like over 8 grams of ketamine in a line. And I usually don't play with ketamine like that.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't move for a good hour at least, probably. At least an hour. I was stuck inside the G Lodge. It's a hunting lodge, basically. It's not many. We're VIP, so we're allowed inside the building.
Yeah.
I was stuck, and I guess I was just screaming and screaming and screaming, and there was a whole long story with that. But when I started coming down and I could walk again, I went outside and I sat on a log, and I was puking up everything that I took in that was bad. You know, and just bleh, bleh. Well, next thing you know, you had this red, blue, and purple dragon type things come up out of the grass, but they had like dragon heads, but they looked like snakes, and they were all coming up to me, and they were holographic digital, and they were just letting me petting them. They didn't say nothing or anything. They were just letting me pet them, and I was sitting there fucking out there patting them. She comes walking up. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm patting the snakes.
You had me pet it too.
Yeah. It was crazy, and there was 3 of them.
Wow, and that's funny. I drew 3 cards, and I bet you these were the 3 that were with you.
Probably.
That's what I was just. That's what I was saying. Bet you that's.
They were. I hope to see them again, like this year there, because that's the only time in my life I've ever seen them, and it was fucking wild. And it's right at the top. Our camp is downhill, and I was sitting on a log that's been there for years, right at the top of our hill that goes down to our camp. It was pretty cool.
Neat. Well, I'm gonna read a little bit about them so you understand more about them, so you have an idea. Maybe
Yeah.
you could manifest them to you easier as well. The orange dragon brings soul families and communities together, spread belongings, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. The 5th dimensional emits flames of joy, warmth, and acceptance. They come to us when our orange chakra is open, for it indicates that we are ready to spread joy and oneness. The world moves towards new golden age. Soul families and groups are drawn together. The orange dragon helps light people so that they recognize each other and enjoy the sense of belonging. They bring 5th dimensional communities together to cooperate, help each other, and practice harmony and oneness. Many of us need to work with them to bring this about. When you pick this card, your guidance is to seek the divine light in everyone. Look for the bonds that link you. The orange dragons will help you to spread the light of warmth, welcome, and acceptance to all people, races, and cultures. Let the light shine through you. You feel the sense of belonging and oneness, and your heart will open. This will help you develop your abilities of higher manifestation. Visualize the people and animals of the world coming together in harmony and acceptance. Orange dragons will flood your vision with their light. Archangel Metatron himself will then take it to energize the plan for Earth. So hold the highest vision of the golden age and the being that is being prepared, and do your part to bring your community and the world into spiritual accord. This is a message of higher peace.
Cool.
Now you have an earth dragon. Clears your path and land around you. Stay grounded. Be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You can move forward in life.
Yeah. That's funny.
That also
I'm a Taurus too, which is an earth sign.
nice.
Now, Jamie.
Yeah.
You actually do live readings on your channel as well, and we're going to put the link in the description for yours. And yours get really in depth when you do them on your separate channel. And like I've seen you go like a half hour, and it's probably some of the most in depth and detailed card readings that I've personally seen on a channel, and usually just mind blowing. So what I'm doing right here is like selling the hell out of that, because I think that's something you should definitely do more often and people should watch.
Yeah, and we'll gladly share it out for you if we see that you're live doing it too. We try to support those that support us. I don't really support those that don't support us much though, because like certain people, if I know them, I'll give them a share. But if they're not coming into my lives and stuff like that, I'm not gonna push them like I would somebody who does.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a good lead into what I'm about to do. This week we're actually going to have two music guests. One is Fearless Frankie with Sons of the Sun. He is mind blowing. I've had personal conversations with the man, and the second one, if you're cool with it, I will stick one of your songs right here too.
Yeah. I'll give them like Mars Flow or something, because a lot of my music, I'm switching distributors, so a lot of it was recently taken down. But I do have stuff on that's newer. A lot of my old stuff, the Alien songs that were older, that I got to redistribute them, which is a hassle.
I'll figure out how to put something of yours right here.
That's the switch out on my side. Talking about a trip to Mars, putting it all in bars. Ooh, wow. Excessive. A luxury. Don't when I come back to Earth for the bars up in Mars, we're bringing me real fast. Flying up with the stars, the memories were so surreal. The shit on Earth isn't for real. I need to be flying back up into space. I need to get out of this delusional place. I'm over here tripping with your face, spitting the lyrics out and they're coming out like mace. I need to fly back out of space. Don't let them save me. It was a beautiful day. Do you understand me? I was over there flying so high. I was on the mushrooms, not on this planet. Oh my. They came down and told me to take care of me. It was a wonderful day. Everything's coming out alright. It's okay. I'm not dead. I'm still alive. Sitting these beautiful bars coming straight from us. I'm actually TripplRial. You know the deal. Everything I spit is straight up real. I'm spitting straight facts, and the government don't like that. I don't give a fuck. They can take a step back. I'm over here making music every fucking day. I'm bashing them. I don't give a fuck what they got to say. They're all corrupt. I need to go back to Mars. The memories up there were so beautiful. I'm flying all so high in my spaceship, wondering why I came back to this place to die. I just wanna go back home to Mars. The memories of the aliens always stick in my brain. Yeah, y'all think I'm insane. I'm not Mary Jane. I'm smoking the ganja. It's okay. I'm tripping on the mushrooms. See, I'm you don't rest. Now that's
I think I ate too many shrooms. I might take off to the moon. Everybody in this room trying to do a cartoon. I'm sitting on top of a rocket that used to be a bar stool. Deep space travel with nothing but a harpoon. UFOs everywhere I go. I hear a dark tune. Me and TripplRial on another moon. It's part 2. Yo, 1 ounce of the dro, 1 ounce of mushrooms. Here we go. Zero gravity, a million aliens grabbing me like a monsoon. We on our way to Mars on a pontoon. This isn't what you thought it was insane about you. Faces all twisted, looking like they painted by Picasso. I'm in a costume, extra trip, Messiah. Rock the planet, we got you. And we know you rock too. Hey, yeah. We got you. Yeah, we got you. The whole boss, we got you. Yeah, got you. Bring it. Extra trip, Marcel. New Age. Mars. Yeah.
Fearless Frankie.
you feel it? Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Me up from this. Me up from this. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm trapped, let me out. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm trapped, let me out. Thoughts inside my mind, twisting inside my brain. People, they come alive, stuck inside this game. Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream, it's a dream. A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me, come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive until you felt my pain. The circus in my mind, like riding on the train. I hear a voice from across the hall. I try to run, but it follows me. It comes to talk to me. It comes to torture me. Still, there's no escape from this insanity. Why was I made for this? For me to sell my soul? I'm losing consciousness. I'm trapped, let me go. Waiting inside of life, hoping this world would change. I scream with no reply. So much for the pain. I met a man who looked just like God. I told him I was trapped in here. I'll grow some wings and fly, 'cause I was just like him. I'll grow old and die, but I'm not buying it. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm trapped, let me out. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm trapped, let me out. Thoughts inside my mind, twisting inside my brain. People, they come alive, stuck inside this game. You thought you were alive until you felt my pain. Circus in my mind, like riding on the train. Waiting inside a line, hoping this world would change. I scream with no reply. So much for the pain.
If we want to go on to your episode with Rob, is that like the first time that you've really gotten into telling these stories online, or is that something you
No.
do a lot?
No, a lot of them are in my songs if people listen to the lyrics and pay attention. But a lot of people don't listen to the lyrics like that, or they just think I'm crazy. And a lot of, like, there's a song called TripplRial Story that talks all about what I was talking about with Rob. The whole song is about that day of how it's how I came up with my name.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty intense thing when it happened. Didn't know what was going on. I'm not saying I was abducted by aliens like everybody else, but psychedelically, I ended up in a spaceship inside my room, and my bed in my room disappeared. You know, so yeah,
You're definitely
I was abducted, but was I physically abducted? Who the hell knows? I was on psychedelics. I'm not one to run around saying I was abducted. You know what I mean?
They can do that shit standing right beside your bed.
Exactly.
Like, there's times where I know I cannot. I know, like, my body. Anybody that's paid attention to my story knows that I have kind of weird abilities in my sleep. I can walk, talk, eat, go to the bathroom, rationalize. I've even done favors for my wife. She'll be like, "Can you get me a drink of water?" I don't remember it. But my body is completely functional and I'm off somewhere else, right? It's almost like I get left on autopilot. There is no kill switch for me. When I go to sleep,
Right.
I'm still awake, right? But the rest of my consciousness fucks off somewhere else. And since I've been able to put all of this together, the whole dimension of the universe has changed in my ideas. Like one of the things you were talking about was how the laundry basket was made of this and this was made of this. I've actually been able to figure it out. Like, and I explained it to Angel Wings one time, like, if you changed your vibration, you could put your finger through this wall, right? Because nothing here is actually a solid and neither are you, right? It's all just molecules vibrating at the same speed. So if you could change yours to the wall's vibration, that's how you walk through a wall, even in this reality.
Well, that's
right?
like, I got in a bad car accident and it was a horrible situation that happened, but they can't figure out how the hell I got out of the vehicle when my ex had to get taken out by the jaws of life. I got out and I ran 7 miles from the car accident.
Oof.
Yeah, the window was only open that much and you couldn't open the doors. That's why they had to use the jaws of life to get her out. So to this day, I don't remember much of the accident. I wasn't like on nothing. I was stoned, but I wasn't drunk. I just don't remember nothing until I came to in the middle of the woods and I was like, fuck, what's going on? And I ran all the way to my mom's.
Angel, Lori, you have experience in NDEs too. That's what you were actually mentioning that last night on Rob's show.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was just saying, you had mentioned last night on Rob's live show that you had some experience involving NDEs too, didn't you?
No. It wasn't me. It was both of my parents.
Oh. Do you want to go into that or?
Well, I was just explaining to them about the differences of the experiences between what my father relayed to me and what my mother relayed to me, but that the only things that were in common was the dark space and the length of time that it took to get out of that dark space, that dark ether, that velvety darkness is what my father called it. And when he had his experience, he said that it was like, because he had got hit over the back of his head. He got mugged in New York City, where we live. And he lost consciousness. And I guess in the interim, people saw him, knocked out on the street, called the ambulance. And he said that as soon as his head hit the concrete, he was gone from this world. He said it parted like a curtain. Like this was a non-existing place, this 3D level that we're in, like it was the dream. And he passed into another realm, but that realm was dark. And he said that he could feel and touch the darkness, that it literally had substance to it, and it felt velvety. And he said before, like the thought of fear could set into his being, he called out the name of Jesus, and then like the light came, the light tunnel. Basically, what I feel is it located him, that he literally passed so quickly from the 3D into another realm that he basically was in the holding space. And that's what I call the valley of the shadow of death. And the good book tells you, fear no evil when you're in that space, because God is with you. So he was in that space, and he almost was at the precipice of fear. But then he remembered and he called on the name of Jesus. And then he said, like a searchlight, the light came and found him. And then he started ascending into the light. Actually, my father, he got close enough in the light that he saw crystal. He said it was crystal. What did he say? A crystal palace. A crystal palace is what he said he saw as he was approaching. But then, with him, he was told, it's not your time, you have to go back. With my mom, she passed in the hospital from an operation, and her experience was when she slipped out of the body, she literally was directly into the light. So she didn't go into the valley of the shadow of death. She went directly from the physical form into the etheric form and directly into the light. And she said when she went into the light, she saw her people, her mother, her father. She saw them in that light. But once again, it was not her time, and she had to come back to the body. So they had their near-death experiences. That was my mom and my biological father. I don't know if my stepfather had one. He never let me know. With me, I haven't had a near-death experience. I just told Rob, I said, the only thing I could equate to it was when I had my wisdom teeth extracted. They extracted all my wisdom teeth at once. And I remember when I was in the chair, I guess I was coming up out of the anesthesia, but what I had been experiencing in it, it seemed like I had died because I was on a conveyor belt. I was a soul. My soul was on a conveyor belt, and there was many souls on these conveyor belts, and they were all moving, and it seemed like I was about to like go off that edge of the conveyor belt into another life, is what it felt like to me. But then I guess I came up out of the anesthesia, so I was like, did these bitches almost kill me taking these teeth out, or did I literally have some type of reaction in my subconscious to the medication?
Yeah.
And have that experience. But for me, that's about the closest to an NDE that I've had, was I literally felt the reincarnation trap. It was about to recycle me into another experience. You know, needless to say, I never went back to those dentists. I never went back. I mean, that was enough for me. That was quite enough for me. But with my parents, that was their experiences.
For myself, I don't know if I brought it up on the show or not. I actually have an artificial knee on my right side, and I'm missing an eighth of my left calf from a near fatal motorcycle accident I had when I was a moron. But what happened was I came around a corner, and I went from what's called tar and chip, which is almost pavement, to freshly graded gravel. And the whole bike just started to slide around me. And of course I was going fast. I'm a kid on a sport bike and I'm an asshole. So the whole bike started to slide, and I panicked and I tried to kick the bike back up because I knew it was going to fall over. But when I did that, my left leg shot in between the tire and the exhaust and pinned me to the bike. And so now I'm really panicked. I grabbed the clutch and the brake at the same time, and the bike started to cartwheel end over end. Here's where it gets really fucked up. The first time the bike's tire went off the back ground, I was standing on the side of the road looking at myself going, you fucking idiot. Do you see what you did? Do you see it? And I'm watching myself flip down the road on the bike from the side of this gravel road, just going, motherfucker, that's going to hurt. Shit. Well, flash forward to after I got rescued, and you have to remember, this is a rural Ontario road, like side road. I wasn't about to be seen. I got found by a group of slightly impaired Native Canadians that were kind enough to stop and go get me help. And then jet, because, nobody wants getting impaired. Jump ahead to going into surgery. I'm like passing out from pain, and they're just starting to put in the IV, and the OPP, which is the Ontario Provincial Police, the guy who was at the scene of the accident, stops my gurney and goes, I have to ask you something while you still remember. I'm like, what? He's like, did you duck? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he flips over this Polaroid, and it's the last thing I remember before passing out into surgery was the front tire of my motorcycle was touching the handlebars. There's no way I didn't break my neck. Right? The bike was bent in half, and I was attached to it. And I literally watched myself bounce down the road like a Tonka toy. But I got to leave my body and watch the stupidity just bounce down the road.
It's not funny, but it kind of is the way you describe it, though. But that's
It's the
true.
only way I can, because it's like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen was myself bouncing down the fucking road on this motorcycle about to die. You
Saying to
fucking
yourself,
asshole.
See what you did. See what you did?
I'm
Like,
I
just
had a traumatic experience in an accident too. It's kind of funny how that connects everybody. We're going through this same like ascension or wake up stuff. It's like my whole life as a kid, I've had something coming at me and always trying to stop what I'm doing, and it just seems like a force always trying to stop us. But yet we heal through it and get stronger and get past it. Because
Yeah.
I had this incident where we were on the interstate. They're going 70 miles an hour, and somehow they were looking at something, and my grandpa left way too early. I know the whole thing was bad vibes to start with. Why he even left at 5 in the morning when everybody was still half asleep and no one got any sleep really. And he's sitting there falling asleep and hitting the edge of the road, and they got the vibrating bumps. I would freak out and get scared every time he'd hit one. So it wasn't much sleeping going on. But for some reason they got distracted and they whipped the wheel to avoid something and went straight through the ditch. And the cop said we literally flew through the midsection of the interstate like a bird without wings. And the right side tires, it was exactly the side I was sitting on. Somehow my sister's brown suitcase got dislodged from the back, came up, and not only did I fly forward, but that suitcase slammed the back of my head, and I hit my forehead right on the front of the seat, so severe. And all I remember was seeing green. I was knocked unconscious. I was in shock. And I didn't even know I was in shock. My dad told me I was shaking. My whole body was seizing up and like a seizure. And it was like convulsing. And I thought I was still dreaming, and I saw nothing but green, like green long grass, and we actually went through grass, but it was like a neon vibrant. So I think I had like an energy presence, Raphael, an archangel or something that reminds me of that light. The healing light is that Greenie uses, and I pretty much think that I was helped and saved through that. Because I somehow snapped myself out of it, because I heard my dad whispering my name over and over and over again, and it was irritating me. So I like pushed myself out of it and shook myself out of it and woke up and said, "What?" And he was crying and said, "Don't you ever do that again to me." It was crazy. And they did a CT scan on me and everything, and it was crazy. They said I was perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong with me. And I'm like, to be hit that severely, I had to have done something. But I was perfectly fine. I just had a severe migraine for days.
I didn't realize until I got, about 6 months ago when I started paying attention to all of this. I won't go into them all because I could probably do a show just on that. I've had about anywhere from 8 to 12 NDEs. And I was explaining this to my partner, Spengen. She's just like, I'm like, that's not normal. And she's like, no. I'm like, what? Most people don't die like 12 times by the time they're like before they're 50? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I'm going back as far as. I'm going back as far as like the day I was born. I almost died because I had fetal alcohol syndrome and severe jaundice, and like had to go in an incubator and almost died at birth and all this crazy shit. And then it's like, oh wait, there was a time that huge dog almost ripped my throat out when I was like 3, and then I drowned when I was 8. And she's like, how the Darwin freaking award are you even still here? I thought this happened to everybody.
What color was that dog? Because man, I had something happen with like this massive like dog, like wolf black thing. I called it a demon dog, but I had it happen when I was younger too, like about 8 or 9. It was trying to get at my dog on the porch, or so I thought. And I wanted to go up there and kick its butt, and my mom wouldn't let me. And I screamed at it, said, "Don't touch my dog!" And it was literally like tearing up the screen door, ripping it apart, trying to get in. And after I screamed at it, it like vanished. It left, and we never seen it again.
That's wild. He's actually just outside, and he can come in if he wants. Just because we're on to things that we've seen with our own eyes. I was walking my stepson to school the other day for his first day of school, and I just glanced over because I caught what would have been about ankle level, and there was this black thing. And when I looked to see it in the middle of the road, it wasn't. And my son looks at me and goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Did you just see that?" He's like, "You mean the black thing that disappeared?" You can stay off camera if you want.
Yeah.
But he's right beside me and go.
Yeah, so yeah, like what he just said, like, did you just see something? And like I said, like, yeah, like small black thing. And yeah, we like it just came from the church, and like just kind of like there was a truck on the other side of the road, and it kind of just disappeared behind that. And
Yeah, like there was no other car between us and the shadow. It just went behind this truck, and then when you thought it should have came out on the other side, like from the tailgate, it just wasn't there. Right? And of course it was coming out of a church. We won't even get into that shit.
Yeah, I won't go to churches.
Yeah.
I don't like, well,
No.
my grandma asked me to go. I've gone like twice in the last 4 years. Every time I go, it's not good.
And it's like I told my partner, I have no problem with Jesus. It's his fan club that freaks me out. Like,
I hear voices inside a church, "Free me from this place. We don't want to be here." Like,
yeah,
it drives me nuts. I can't do it.
Well, and I've been to a church where they actually blow a shofar, that horn. Oh, that's terrible. That's bad. You don't realize the synchronicities to an actual demon that has a goat demon that has horns like that. You don't blow that thing. I'm pretty sure there's somebody and something bad in there, because when I go in there, there's a bad vibe.
The church that my stepdad and my grandma goes to it too. My grandma's gone to it her whole life. It's different from when back then when she started going. But come on, what kind of church has a lottery ticket thing out in the waiting room where they sell lottery tickets? What kind of church is this? You know what I mean? Like, no. You're all about gambling, this and that. I don't even think half them mother effers, I'll say, because this is going on. I think they're going to hell. They ain't going to no heaven. All these pastors and shit, they're all demons. I call them reptilians. The one at my grandma's church, he was starting to shapeshift up there.
I see.
Me and her both saw it. He was starting to shapeshift as he was preaching. I kept just giving him this weird stare, and he'd look at me and he'd start sweating, and you could see his eyes blinking differently, and he'd turn his head, like, because he knew I was there, and I will take them down. That's part of my purpose being here, is to get rid of that shit.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because spirituality and religion get so mashed up and so together.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've had people roll their eyes at me when I tell them, like, I used to be a partier, and I will be the first one to admit I was an asshole when I was younger. I was an alcoholic. I was hard into drugs, and I was not nice to anybody. So anyways, where was I going with that?
We're talking about churches and everything else, and then you started going on with that.
Yeah, no, spirituality and religion. It's like people just roll their eyes at me like, "You're spiritual. Okay, you're one of the biggest assholes I knew from back in the day." And it's like, no, I'm not religious. You're misunderstanding. I don't go to a church. I believe in something greater than myself that has ultimate control and loves us for who we are, no matter what we do. And there's a weird Mike Myers movie, The Love Guru, where they call the Bible basic instructions before leaving Earth. And I swear to whomever that that's all it was ever meant to be. Just gets so convoluted, getting passed down by monarchies and kings and queens and everybody changing the story to what they like. Even the message, the original.
I feel like the original Bible was just written by somebody on a massive psychedelic trip. I'm serious.
That,
I'm serious. Look what they ate back then.
yeah.
They were feeding off mushrooms and shit because it wasn't like it is today. Their main source of food was mushrooms. That's how we found out which ones kill people.
Reindeer eat mushrooms.
True.
I don't even know where our Bible is. Okay, here's another thing about me too. Like, I didn't get a chance to say it in Rob's show. I don't read shit. I don't read Bibles. I don't read nothing on aliens like that. I very seldom will watch a documentary on aliens. Everything that I talked about with David Eckhart that lined up to what he was saying is from experiences. It's not from reading. It's not from watching TV. I don't watch TV. I'm always streaming, if you notice. Like, if you watch my channel, I'm always streaming, or I'm always making music. And summertime, I'm always at festivals. I don't read. Our Bible, it's not even my Bible. I found it in the camper. We were out of rolling papers one day. Our Bible is a rolling paper machine, and I laugh every time I smoke a part of that Bible. I use the paper to roll cigarettes when we're out of tobacco or rolling papers. That's what the Bible is to me. It's a big old rolling paper.
Yeah. No, it got so convoluted and so skewed, even if it was meant to just have a good message. I know there's a certain family member of mine that's devout Catholic that I haven't been welcome back to in 20 years because I compared the Bible to a good episode of the Care Bears and was not asking.
It's an old Bible. It's not a new one.
Yeah.
It is good for rolling papers. That's it.
Yeah,
I believe nothing that thing says.
Well, and it's based on just people's perceptions. It's not actual reality. That's what people don't understand. Is that and what is reality too? It's like a multitude of perspectives from different people that experience things in a different way. It's not absolute truth. It's versions of what people can explain that don't know what they're looking at. So what are you going to get? A whole bunch of different information, and people always read into it too much and then misinterpret it. I mean, you're not that person who wrote it, so you don't even know what they were talking about.
Right.
No. And I don't fault anybody for finding comfort in whatever they need to, be it religion or anything. But when you start taking it to the point of disliking somebody else because they believe a different version of the same story or whatever, it's where I get off the trolley. It's like, you guys all seem like you're just out to fight each other because you just want to be right. But why? Like, my family heritage is predominantly Irish. We were blowing each other up over the same damn book, just the way it was told. And that went on for hundreds of years. Like, what the, like, I'm surprised my ancestors made it. You talk about a Darwin Award. You guys are fighting over the same goddamn story. Like, serious. You take your shit a bit too serious. Yeah. And like I said, I don't blame anybody for finding comfort in what brings them solace. But when you make it a lifestyle and a ritualistic one at that, I start to ask questions.
Especially when they're out knocking on doors. Oh my God. Do you have time to talk about the Bible? Do you have time? No, I have time for you to get off my porch. That's why I'm glad I live off the grid now. I ain't got to deal with nobody knocking on our door. We can't even have an address where we live. We have a 911 address. That's how my uncle got power here. But house-wise, no, he made up a fucking address because this was a chunk of land of his buddies. The house across the road is 390, so he made up an address to 911 just to get power. There really is no address.
Wow.
No, that's off.
Google Map, it comes up.
It comes up. There's a haunted trail down the road called Demon Acres. I don't even know exactly where it is. It's somewhere on this chunk of land. Well, the reason why you can't have an address, actual house address here, from what my uncle found out to the town, is this is sacred land. For some reason, they're not splitting it up like that. So his friend down the road sold my cousin 5 acres of his property, but they can't actually split it as far as putting an address on it. because it's sacred land. But here's the thing. There is a septic tank out front that's like a commercial septic tank, like in the middle of this property. But there's never been a building here. Why in the hell is there a septic tank like that? There's no well here. Did somebody put in a septic tank and get scared and run back in the day because of what goes on this property? Yeah, we don't know. We can't figure it out.
I mean, we hear noises.
I hear noise
at
like
night.
alien type noises all the time. They'll sound like the Predator outside at times. Shit like that. I was making a beat live the other day. Wu Train was in there. Wheat and Shaw was in there. Cloud Kicker was in there.
Tony was in there.
I was making a beat and you could hear everything fine. When I got to the end of it and I want to play it for the last time before I was going to bounce it down, you could hear a frequency in there. And they were all in the chats. What is that? I said, I don't know. I said, this shit happens all the time and it's coming through my speakers too. I said, it's not just on your end. We bounced the beat down and played it. It's not in the beat like that, but it was saying something. So I told them all to name the beat, and they said it sounded like it was saying Earthlings. So the beat is named Earthlings. I didn't do nothing with it yet lyrically, but
That's wild.
It was caught on a live feed.
You just reminded me of something. One of Rob's guests and one that we interviewed on Mad Chatter was Touchdown Tommy Edwards. And before the interview we did on Mad Chatter, he sent me this audio clip of something he'd recorded, and he was pretty sure it was MK Ultra. So I, being as smart as I am, I opened the audio clip. It screwed up my phone for like 2 whole minutes. I couldn't get anything to load. It shut everything off, and it just went like everything just phased out on my phone, and I'm like, what the? So as soon as I got my phone running, I was like, bro, what was that? He's like, MK Ultra. I'm like, no shit. Like, it shut my phone right off just by whatever sound it was. And of course, we didn't play it on the radio but no, like, they absolutely bury things in frequencies and stuff. But I wanted to ask Angel Lori, after your multiple hypnosis sessions and what all you're into, what are your perceptions of, in a quick explanation of like your perceptions of reality around you? Like, do you believe that we are all as we appear as human or divinely created or what?
I see people as energy, period. Everyone's energy. No matter how much, you do your hair, you do your makeup, you have different skin colors, skin tones. You're all energy. You're energy being to me. And that's how I treat people. The energies that they push out into the universe, that I come into contact with, that's how I relate to that person. So if it's a positive energy, I am all for it. If it's a negative energy, it generally can't stay around me. It can't stay around me for any length of time. I will irritate that negative energy, and that negative energy will go and find someone else to play with who knows how to play nicely with negative energy. I balance the negative and the positive. So if there's like one time at my job, I was supervising my unit, and the director over me, I don't know what kind of being she was, because this was before I was awakened in 2020. But I've always been sensitive. And, of course, my mom's history of being an abductee since she was like 4 until the day she died. But at this job, I'm a new supervisor. I'm in here. I got introduced to the director. As soon as I was within her sphere of influence with her aura, I was like, what the fuck is she? Because that ain't human. I don't know what that is. It ain't human. And this is when I lived in New York City. I'm a native New Yorker. And that's not the first instance that I've had with a non-human in the form of a human being. And I was like, what the hell is she? Because her energy hit me like a brick. And it was so disgusting. I was like, what the hell? And then as I started talking to my team, then I started hearing the stories about this person. Like, oh my God, she's such a bee. She's always demanding. She's always giving you tasks to do that are literally overdue on her end. And she expects you to get them done like instantaneously. I was like, I can deal with that. That's not a problem. I was like, but what is wrong with her? And they didn't even understand what I was saying because they weren't even that sensitive to it. She held a meeting for all the big wigs in and all of us underlings and all our staff. And literally, when she walked into an open spaced room, I mean, this is like a factory sized room, and you know, everybody had their desks all out there in a row. And when she walked into that space, the temperature dropped at least 5 degrees. At least. It had to have been 10. It got cold. And I'm looking at people and I'm seeing the humans, they're covering themselves. They're kind of shivering. They're holding their arms. They're basically going inside themselves when this woman came into the room. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she lowered the temperature of the fucking room. What the fuck is she? What is she? And I was like, wow, they really do walk amongst us. They have jobs. They're in the big leagues. They're making the big money, and they're over us underlings in the matrix, and they're telling us what to do. I was like, wow. And then, you know, I found out that this director, whatever she was, my insides want to say reptilian or reptilian hybrid. That's just what my instincts want to say, but I have no proof of the matter. But she always wanted to be close to me. She would call me upstairs to the upper room, you know, to her office, and she's like, oh, Lori, I just wanted to shoot the breeze with you, blah, blah, blah. You know, I go to your father's church. It's a sister church. I was like, okay. I asked my dad, Dad, do you know her? He said, I don't know her. I was like, just trying to drop names. Anyway, and I was like, okay. And she's like always calling me into her office. Come to find out that she's trying to take my energy. She's trying to get a little taste. She's trying to get a snack. I was not awakened then. I didn't know about protecting your light, protecting your energy. All I knew was that her energy was repulsive to me, and I didn't want to be around her. When she called me into the office, I tried to make it as quick as possible and then get away from them. But yeah, that negative energy, these beings, they you know, anything that has like love within it, we are an anathema to them. They don't want any portion of the love. They just want your light.
Yeah.
They want to take your light and use it for whatever energy needs that they need or what have you. So, you know, that was my instant dealing with knowing at one intricate moment of my life that this reality is different. There are different kinds of people that look human, but they really are not. They are not. And the only way you can tell the difference is their energy. When you are in their field, when you feel, when the hairs on your neck are standing up and you just have that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like there's something wrong here. Something don't belong here, that's here. You understand that we're in a different kind of reality.
Oh, I totally agree. And Fearless Frankie, Frank Castle, whichever, explained it to me as well. And I think he explained it on Rob's show, is it's not even 50-50 between light beings and light workers and the rest. It's about 80-20. And we're the 20% that's meant to grab the few that are left. But a lot of them are clones and argons and reptilians and all of this shit hiding in plain sight. Some of them don't even know because they're so deeply programmed. They have like another type of being injected into a human body, and they're just running thinking they're human because they have the human mind. Right? They've already done this shit. And a lot of them, go ahead.
That's what I call an NPC. That's a non-player character. They have a role, and they're doing their role. They're going to work every day. They never take a vacation. They don't have any friends. This is their role.
Yeah.
Do they have a soul?
Oh, I lost you there.
Do they have... Oh, can you hear me?
I think she said, do they
Yeah,
have
there you are.
Oh, okay. I'm like, do non-player characters have souls? Are they just placeholders? What's the deal? Because I work with a lot of non-player characters, and I watch them, and it's like the same thing every day, all the time. Eat the same lunch, peanut butter or banana and mayonnaise sandwich all the time. Same thing. Never take a day off. Never late to work. Always come in. I'm like, who does that? What kind of human being does that?
I don't think an actual human being.
You know, no human being that I know. That's somebody who's just programmed and is just here to fill a space and hold a space for something. You know, and in this reality, you know, I don't even consider this what we're actually in. This is actually like the dream. This is the dream. And then when you have an NDE, then you get to see reality. You know, that's reality on the other side of the curtain. On this side of the curtain, this is not reality. This is, you know, this is my little quick summation of this whole thing that we're doing here. This is a game. This was an instructorial game that was created to house beings that have endless capacity to be alive. Endless capacity to be alive as energy beings. So we needed a place to put these energy beings so that they can learn some lessons and learn how to play nicely with other beings. So that's what this whole realm was created for, to give us lessons, because I'm sure that some of us, and probably including myself, were out there in the galaxies fucking shit up. We were causing wrecks, making problems, and they said, listen, we need to re-educate this living soul so that they understand that there's ramifications to things. You have to be in control of your energies, control of your powers. Let's put them into a meat suit so that they can understand what emotions are. Let's give them some emotional training. This is a training ground. It's a made-up training ground. It's a dream that a collective has created, and this is what we're in. And, you know, this is, my higher self told me I agreed to come here. I agreed to come here to share my golden light. I listen, that's on me. I take it because I have issues with my higher self. I tell my higher self off a lot. Like, what the hell were you thinking? There's other places to be. We could have had mad fun in other galaxies. Why are we here? So you know, maybe that's why my higher self won't actually come out again when Maya does the regressions and she's asking and she's calling. My higher self is probably like, you know what? I had enough of this chick right now. I'll talk to y'all later. So I'm like, you know, I'm like, okay, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I can resonate with quite a lot of it. I've been starting to remember a lot of that too, but at the same time, my perspective on that is it is like a training ground, and sometimes some of our fast tracking being with upgrades is like a simulation. I mean, I'll literally feel like when I go to the mall, sometimes I'm walking through like a training program, and suddenly will kick in where these odd occurrences will happen, and it's like you got to figure out how to get past it, and then it goes away. It's really weird. It's like a glitch for your training to understand something. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but I think that's what happened when I was at work too, when I was first contacted, and I kept meeting all these people. It was like a meeting place for beings like similar to us to run into random people to communicate with. It's like your higher self is communicating with these other people, and you're not quite aware of it at the time until you start waking up to everything. And then you're like, wait a minute, why is that energy from that person seem so familiar? And then you run into someone similar, and then you start talking for quite a while, but then it came off as a really negative place. So I'm not quite exactly sure what it was, but it definitely wasn't a good place. And eventually I was removed from there.
Extra, you looked like you had something to say about that.
Oh, I had something else completely just happen. I hit my vape I hit my vape, which I'm trying to quit smoking cigarettes. Okay, so it's not DMT or nothing. And then I took a sip of my coffee, and all of a sudden I tasted a wicked fucking strong taste of DMT. Like wicked strong taste, and my whole body had goosebumps. I showed her, and she was like, "What the hell?" It was like it wasn't like a vape pen DMT taste either. It was like a straight DMT substance, and I don't know that was gross.
Bro, when we watch this, run it back because I actually saw your reaction. I have all three is up on screen. Your complexion completely changed about 3 shades when you made that face.
Okay. Yeah,
like you went about as white as the shirt.
It was like it was almost as though I shot off somewhere for a second, and I came back. And all I could taste was DMT, and it was fucking gross. That plasticky smell, that plasticky taste. Yeah, that was pretty gross. I mean, it was gross because I'm not smoking it. If I was smoking it, I would have been expecting it. But this came out of nowhere. I'm like, ugh, what the hell is that?
Maybe you had something put in your coffee.
No.
I know. No. That was not the case. I promise you.
It was the wife in the trailer with the coffee mug.
No.
But being on that, I don't know. It might have been that behind me.
Yeah.
You see that? She took this picture in the back of our van. My fiance died.
Yeah.
My fiance I found dead on the floor in 2021, and that picture looks just like her. She took this picture in the back of my van with an AI thing, and that's the picture we got from the AI from my phone.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
that's wild.
Yeah, that's one of the pictures that we don't share to people that I sent them to you in Discord. That's what I'm using for my backgrounds. We don't share these pictures on my social media like that.
No. And, because we tried to get the share screen thing figured out, but we're both in our 40s and fairly new to technology. Well, I'm new to trying to figure out these new meetings and how to do stuff. So it's like, sorry, bro, I suck. But no, that's wild. Like this, when you move to size, you can see the face completely.
Yeah, it was.
There's another one too. If you look.
Yeah, if you look
corner.
To the side of me right there, you see that little head that looks like it's like laying down with their elbow.
Oh
yeah. This is a picture she took in the back of our van at a festival.
That's wild.
And then if you look, like, it's weird. If I block that face off, look behind me. It looks like a dog body with a collar, like my dog might have been laying there when she took the picture. You see it?
Yeah.
And then when I move, now look when I move out of the way. It looks like a fucking hat that's on. We're assuming that was my fiance that passed away, making herself known in that picture.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah. I saw some pretty crazy photos.
It's crazy what we can do with technology and the things that they don't think we'll capture. Like, you see orbs and stuff. I've watched videos of angel wings. I've seen live. I've seen her dragon move a balloon with like zero wind in her room.
She sent us videos of that the other day on Discord.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Go ahead.
I was gonna say my whole dream catcher above me was moving, all the feathers, and it'll start to swing, and there's no breeze, there's no nothing. The fan is completely off. I never turn the fan on actually above me either because of the balloons floating around, and I don't want them getting caught in the fan. Of course, they might have a good ride then.
But beings are around us 24/7, and then other interdimensionals are around us 24/7. As a human being, you are watched by many 24/7 for the span of your life. We can't see them with the range that we have for our human eyes, but they're around us. They walk with us. They're standing by your bed. You go to the bathroom. I'm sure it's crowded. You take a shower. It's crowded. these energies, these beings, these magical creatures, your dragons, my flaming lions, they're always around us. Mine always tell me they're always in my auric field. So they're that close to me. Now, if we could literally see them with our eyes all the time, we would freak the fuck out. Because how can you live your life knowing that there's like a gallery of beings, of ancestors, of galactics that are watching you?
I know. I already know.
The technology, we're able to sometimes capture them and get a view of a fairy. Get a view. I've got fairies. I've got gargoyles. But I'm not on Discord, so I don't share my pictures. But I've got plenty of fantastical things. I've got dragons. You can capture them on your security camera footage. They're out there. These earth energies at night love to come out. Just put your security camera on and just let it roll. Just let it roll at night. Face it towards your front yard, your backyard, or whatever. You will see these energies literally coming up out of the ground. I've got fairies. I got a fairy waving hi to me in front of another fairy. It looked like she was, he was chatting her up, and then she just, saw me looking in the security cam and waved hi, like, "Hey, Lori, hey girl." Yeah. So these energies are all around us, and when you capture them on your, it's good to hold on to that. Hold on to that, because that's proof.
You're getting loud.
That's proof that we're not in this game by ourselves.
No, absolutely. And the last thing a 15-year-old wants to admit is there's woo-woo going on in his house. But in our house, you don't even need a camera. We've all seen orbs about the size of your thumbnail to about the size of a small apple. Literally just like one will pass by your head. Or he was at our bedroom door a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, I'm like, "Oh, did you see that?" He's like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Those are fairies." And he's like, "Oh."
Do you, Don, around the dogs, do you see lots and lots of orbs and fairies? Because it seems like they love huskies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's a portal in my closet is the only way I can explain it. I told Extra TripplRial about my experience off camera. But yeah, there's a portal in my closet that they come in and out of, and if you go into the right meditative state, you can use it as a human too.
Oh, see, I don't allow portals, positive or negative, in my environment. I shut down all portals. I disintegrate them. I do not allow. No portals in my home, no portals near my home, no portals when I'm riding in my car. Portals will shut down and disintegrate. I do not allow portals. I have strict borders, boundaries when it comes to these energies, positive, negative, or neutral. Very strict boundaries. My home, no. I will invite my dragons into my home. I will invite my flaming lions into my home. I will invite my archangelics and my angels. I will invite the unicorns. I will invite you to come into my home to live with me. But no, you do not create a portal and think you're going to fast-ass your way in and out of it. No, that's a no.
Yeah.
If I was you, I would shut that shit down, and allow what you want to come in, but don't allow just anything, because if you leave a portal open, even if positivity is coming through, that also leaves a gateway for something else to come through.
Very true.
You have to be master. You got to be master of your domain. Yeah. Master of it, because come through and then come into our animals. You have to protect your animals. Thor stays protected. He has crystals on his collar. He stays protected with my light encompassing his and working with his guys. Yeah. So yeah, be careful with portals, and be careful when you use your tarot. When you use your tarot cards, that creates portals as well. So when you do it in your sacred space. Cleanse your sacred space, and when you finish with your tarot cards, you put them up, you put a crystal on top, and you cleanse your space. And don't do it in your bedroom, and don't do it in a particular place that will be a place of power, whether it's an altar or something. But do it in your place of power. Don't do it in your bedroom. You create portals. I personally create portals to communicate with my Sasquatch family, but I also shut those portals down when I'm done. I don't ever leave the portal open. So Yeah, be careful with portals.
No, and,
'Cause
and
it kills
you actually brought that to something Rob was saying recently too, and it's very valid. Like, we have very limited senses as humans, and that's done on purpose. We all know it. But like, even the spectrums of light, we can see 5%. We regularly use 5% of our brain, right? Like, that's insane when you think about it. And what you were saying about this being the dream and the other being the reality, well, think about it. Which one's the more logical choice of what runs reality? The 95% we don't use, or the 5% we're trained to use? No,
Right.
this is a fucking program we're running. The other 95% of what goes on in our head is reality, and we're too fucking stupid to see it. Pardon my language.
Well,
It's not that we're stupid. It's not that we're stupid. It's just that that's not what we're here for in this experience.
Yeah.
We purposely dumbed ourselves down to come into this game. So we purposely dumbed ourselves down outside of what other beings or entities have done to, like, genetically. But we purposely chose to forget. And now in the game, we're like scrambling to remember so we can have access to other abilities. But so now we're scrambling in the game to get access to stuff that we already possess.
Yeah. I'm just lucky I can't kick my own ass because I need to shut everything up. Hell.
Well, I'd like to share kind of a perspective on that as well. Well, I understand what she's saying, the amnesia part and all that, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think that's the case sometimes. I still think there's another perspective out there, whereas some are forced to stay not awake because we're too strong and powerful. At the same time, they don't want us awake. So, I mean, at first it might have started out that way, but I think it became a point where they started trying to actually block us from being what we need to. And a lot of us are going through like a hardcore training sessions to fast tracking, hardcore information being downloaded and upgraded, trying to bypass all that to get past all the crap and activate everything again. A lot of it is cleansing and clearing so much of everything going through our bodies all the time, because we are energy and they bombard us with crappy frequencies. They bombard us with so much garbage in our food, in our energy field. They just blow us away. And it's like, I try to, when I was first activated, man, I did nothing but frequency cleansing on everything. I would literally click and make a playlist of like 20 different frequencies and just keep doing that like for days and days, just getting rid of the garbage out of my system. It took such a long time, and constantly looking up more information, and pictures actually activate some things as well. Because I was reading a Shiva thing that said something about earth, wind, fire, all the elements and stuff, and it like unlocked something as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on.
I agree with that. And like the beings that we call they, well, our community will refer to as they, they already shut this down once, and it was Penny Dollar on an episode of Rob's, I think, was talking about how this almost happened in the 60s. And it kind of lines up when you think about it, because that's when the war on drugs started. So there went all the mushrooms and weed and stuff. But in flies a 3-letter agency with cocaine and heroin to numb the masses with chemicals, but they take away the natural plant medicine.
Because they didn't want people in tune.
Exactly.
That's exactly why. They don't want us being what we are today. If the whole world was what us are on this screen, the world wouldn't have all this money problem. They wouldn't have all these wars. They wouldn't have all this bullshit going on that keeps going on. There would be nobody in control like that, because everybody would work as one, because they'd be maybe not on the same exact frequency, but we'd all be intertwined with each other and not having the hate and the bullshit and the problems going on that there is. There would be no racism. None of it.
Yeah.
None of it.
No.
It wouldn't exist.
Yeah. People like us make sense, because Angel Lori posted something about somebody being ignorant to her when she was walking her dog. And all I could think is like, I don't care if you're in the hood or on a homestead. You don't need to be like that to another person. That grown ass man should have been offering to help that young lady, not making fun and taking shots. Don't shoot your shot at a single lady just walking down the street because you think it's easy.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that females deal with all the time. That's just part of the game here. Females, the experience between what males go through and what females go through, it's radically different. It's radically different because you could be a man walking down the street, and generally, no woman's just gonna come out of pocket and say something to you, Yeah. But as a female, the males feel that they have some type of right to say something to you, whether they're making a comment on your looks, or making a comment on what you're wearing, or making a comment on that you freaking walking your dog. They just have some type of, they just feel like they have a right to say it, And me, I've really matured. You guys should be proud of me. I have really matured, and I'm telling this to my guides as well. They understand that I have matured because back in the day, Don, my mouth would have let her rip. Let her rip. And that male ego would have been shrunken down to the size of a dried out prune. But I walk in light. And now I held my tongue. I basically was just like, I already got one of those. So what else is new? But
and I apologize for putting your business. I apologize for putting your business out on the.
I put it out there. Boy, I put it out there. I put the thing on Facebook. I was like, how dare they? How dare they?
It had me a bit twisted. Like, don't talk to my being family like that. Don't talk to my light being like that. Like, I hope that little fucker hears this episode or watches this somehow, because fuck you, bud.
But listen, they're grown men living in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's all I've got to say. Okay, my boyfriend is elsewhere right now, but I support me quite lovely. Okay, I don't need 3 other people to help me pay my bills. So that's just that. But getting back to the Matrix, what I wanted to say is in this reality that we're living in, you can test it, because I generally don't test it, but the experiences that I have tested it, and looking back at those experiences, we guys are needed in this game. We're needed here. We are needed here because I've had at least 2 instances in my life where I could have been either raped or killed, and I was miraculously saved. And in my regression that I had in 21, my higher self said that the first being that saved me was Archangel Gabriel, that he saved me from being raped. And the second being that saved me, I have an angelic father. My angelic father saved me the second time when I was out in the field. I was a fraud investigator in the field. I got hit by a car, me and my partner, and I didn't feel any pain. I went sailing through the air. I landed on my back. I didn't feel any pain, and I was gonna get up because I had a skirt on, and I wasn't unsure if my business was showing to the world. So I was gonna get up, get all my credentials, and go check on my partner because she went down a whole other half of the block. People didn't even know she got hit by it. It was 2 cars that was drag racing, and they went out of control and hit each one of us. And I was gonna get up. And as I was getting prepared to get up, this cop appeared on my left-hand shoulder. I know where he came from. And he was like, Lori, everything's going to be fine. Just stay still. Don't try to get up. And I looked at him and I was like, who the hell are you? Well, this was before my mouth got taped. I was like, who the hell are you? What the hell are you telling me? I'm getting the hell up off this ground. This happened to me in New York in the Bronx. I'm laying on a nasty Bronx. I'm laying in a nasty street in the Bronx. Hell yeah, I'm going to get up. And he's like, don't get up. And he said my name. And I didn't have any credentials on me that had my name. So I'm looking around. I see people like gathering. and somebody called the ambulance because he was like, the ambulance is on their way. I saw everything, and I'm looking at this guy like, who the hell are you? There was a white guy. He had these cerulean blue eyes, and I'm like, Don, I think you know me by now. I really like attractive men. I really like attractive people. And I look around, even though I'm like kind of vehement at him for telling me what to do by not getting up, but those eyes, those eyes, they're like husky eyes. They like mesmerized me somehow, and I didn't get up. But when the ambulance finally came and they got me to the hospital and they did the x-ray on me, my tibia and fibula had been broken, had been fractured. And if I would have stood up, it would have went into my femoral artery and I would have bled out on the inside before even the ambulance workers would have known what was wrong with me. They would have lost me. So when I look back at these instances, I'm like, okay, so they needed me to stay in the game. Yeah. Because I'm like, maybe that was me creating an exit strategy for myself. I was tired of playing the game. So if I stood up, it would have killed me, but it would have been by accident. So it wouldn't have been like a suicide or something. Maybe that was me trying to make a out for myself. And then here comes my father, not a human being, an angelic being, Elohim, and he convinces me not to get up. Now, Don, I'm a very headstrong woman. I'm very opinionated. I know what I want to do and I know what I don't want to do. And all I want to do is get up. And he told me, Lori, just stay still, don't get up. I would not listen to that. So I'm like, what mind manipulation did he do to me to make me stay down and not get up and accidentally kill myself? Yeah. No. So they want us in this game. They need their players playing the game. And they're willing to go they're willing to go far and above to keep us safe enough to continue to play. Well, yeah, and exactly that, because like I was joking about earlier, look how many times Death's taken a swing at me and missed. Like, clearly I'm here for a reason. It just took my dumb ass this long to feel it, and I am glad I am now. Oh. Because I'm more in touch with myself than I've ever been, and it's probably tripping some people out.
Husky's about to go in timeout.
Yeah. Oh, Husky's on timeout. Mine's already in a nap.
Oh no, we found out that he's not Husky. This one don't have Husky. They had two sets of litters. He's actually Beagle, Shepherd, and American Staffordshire. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. The one my buddy got had Husky in it.
was like, wait, that was me.
Oh.
So we didn't know that.
It's a beautiful dog. It actually reminds me of my mom's that she used to have. All right. Let's I guess we'll cut it off there for today. I got to thank everybody for a very interesting and broad conversation, because I think we've been just about everywhere. That's kind of the theme of this. Round and round we go. TripplRial, do you want to tell everybody what you're about and where to find you?
Well, you can find me on almost every platform. You can put in hashtag Rock the Planet 24, and my whole music community, basically. Some of the people in this community I don't even know. That's hashtag Rock the Planet 24. Or to just find me, you can Google search TripplRial. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify, SoundCloud for music. Whatever. Oh, geez. Title, like every platform there is. Like I said, a lot of my music was taken down. I am in the process of re-uploading stuff. It's gonna take a while because a different distributor. Yeah, most of my stuff is about alien type music or healing music, but there is also some diss tracks, because when I get pissed off at the world, I tend to let it out in lyrics. It's my way of venting. But I realized I got to stop dissing people because it created a whole bunch of problems. I mean, they went and did it first. I fired back, but I'm very open about it when I fire back, unlike when they fire. Yeah, I just don't give a shit, and I'll use whatever you say against me to fire back, and I'll put it in lyrics. And I guess I really hurt people when I do that. So I decided I can't do that no more. But
that is very Marshall Mathers of you.
So I made amends with the people that got hurt over it, except for like I have diss tracks on my mother. They'll never be fixed. I don't have them out there no more, but me and my mother do not see eye to eye. She is a reptilian. My uncle's a reptilian.
Yeah.
Me and my grandmother are like the same, but those two, I don't know how the hell they came into this family.
Oh God.
I'll never make amends with that woman. Just saying. Yeah. So there will always be something about my mom and stuff, regardless. It's gonna happen. Yeah, that's how I vent. Music is my ventilation for the shit I go through. If I'm making a song that sounds all positive and happy and it's talking about frequencies or healing energies, it's because my head space is not in the right place and I need to heal myself.
That makes sense.
The more positive the music is, the more of a shit mood I'm down at.
Oh.
Like if I'm making a funny song that doesn't sound funny, but to me it's funny, I'm in a good mood, like the diss tracks.
Yeah.
Still venting, but it's like you guys, they can't affect me. I make diss tracks on myself. Who does that? I don't even think Eminem's ever made a diss track about himself. I've made 3 about myself. Like nobody can touch me. You can't diss me. I can diss myself better than anybody else in this world. So that's what I do. But we go to festivals and we perform. We create art out of garbage, literally. We'll take old containers, like stuff like that, and we spray paint them with black lights. We have black lights, we have laser lights.
There you go,
that's what we do at the festivals. So we bring art to the festivals. Plus we perform sometimes at festivals. She's actually they're training her this year to be part of the medical team as well. So we do a lot of stuff. Just wintertime, it's our off time. So come next month, we gotta start building our camps. We actually won't be online as much because one of the festivals we go to, we have no service.
Yeah.
There's like no service whatsoever. The other one, I have Wi-Fi and I have power and everything. So that one I might do a couple streams from this year just to show all my friends that watch my live streams what it's like. And like hopefully Rob could come up. I don't know how far away you are from New York.
Oh, I'm out in Alberta.
Right, your way. So
yeah. Angel, Lori, do you want to give your information out?
Oh, sure. I'm on my personal journey to finding out exactly all the things that I have been and all the things that I am. Mostly on YouTube at Angel Lori 555, and come watch my videos, see my hypnosis sessions, look at my activations, and join me in the journey. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm very selective on who I will accept into my clan. But you can send me a message on Facebook. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, I wasn't meaning to laugh. We weren't laughing at you. My dogs are being goofballs. The little one.
No, this is the dog show.
The little one keeps taking a skydive off our bed because we live in a fifth wheel and our bed is elevated and there's 2 stairs. He keeps on taking a dive all the way down to the bottom. My other dog, my bigger dog's running down, jumping down there to make sure he's all right. The little one runs back up here, does a circle around us, goes back and does another Superman. So we're geeking out over it.
Those are the joys. Our dogs and cats and birds and goldfish, these are our blessings for coming to this game.
Yeah, they're some of our best friends.
Oh yeah.
Angel Wings, do you want to talk about your channel and your readings and? Angel Wings.
Sorry.
It's the all pet episode. I warned you fuckers.
It is.
I put one of my crystals next to him. Yeah, I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook Jamie Jacobson, and my stuff should be linked in the video, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'll put it in the link in the description. And I'll have all of TripplRial's and Angel Lori's YouTubes in the description as well. And usually this is where people say support the podcast, but I'm not really living off this right now. So what I'm going to say is pop over to the Typical Skeptic Podcast and donate and share his videos because he's the reason we're all here. He's the reason this shit happens. And he's the reason we even know each other and consider each other like family. So if you're going to support somebody right now, don't worry about me. I got other shit going on. Pop over and check out our boy, because he could use the help. As far from that, I want to thank Carbon Dallas for my wonderful theme music that is yet unreleased. So I'm the only fucker that has it. And check out them on YouTube, Facebook, and just about everywhere else as well. And stay tuned for an ad right after this. Thanks for watching, and thank you guys for being on.
Thank you.
My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choices now. I'd say no. I'd ask if that's me, 'cause I don't recognize myself anymore. No,
Hey guys, break time for a short message. YouTube will not monetize me, so if you enjoy my content and want to support my efforts, help me to cover my expenses by visiting my shop to buy yourself a beautiful orgone generator. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand, and they are ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. They are only available through my website, www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. Many people are finding comfort with Zendome's orgone generators, commonly called Orgonite. They are a simple compound which balance ambient energy by converting negative energy and EMF into positive healing energy with many easily confirmed health benefits. They are a simple compound with alchemic and energetic properties. These devices function as self-driven, continuously operating, highly efficient, negative to positive energy transmutation factories. They help diminish the harmful effects of electromagnetic frequency radiation by attracting and converting negative energies, retuning them into new and more healthful sound and light wave patterns. And they help to purify the atmosphere and accelerate plant growth. They also help stimulate positive mood and are a natural remedy for poor sleep patterns. When Orgonite is within range of any corded or wireless electronic device, it will efficiently and continuously transform that energy into orgone as it is being transmitted. This essentially creates orgone energy transmitters out of any and all emitters of harmful negative energy. You can use these devices for focusing the mind, healing, meditation, and for spiritual growth. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are only available through my website. Don't be fooled by imitations. Check out my website to see my latest selection at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com. Check them out today. Now, let's.
When the lights are low and the curtains are drawn, you know there's only one thing she wants you to put on.